clown his way to more championship bouts. At least for now, he is the ringmaster of the featherweight world. And Jorge Paez getting ready to depart from his dressing room as Louie Espinoza steps into the ring. Jorge Paez and Louie Espinoza coming up. We'll be back in Las Vegas after these words. Back in Las Vegas, Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. Louie Espinoza is in the ring, and he waiting for Jorge Paez, who is about to make his entrance. Espinoza, in his last fight, stopped the previously unbeaten Maurizio Stecca in 7, an impressive victory in Italy, and now looks to take the IBF Featherweight Championship from the man wearing the crown, Jorge Paez. And as you would expect, circus-like atmosphere surrounding his entrance. Paez, the one-time circus clown and acrobat, comes in at 35-2 and 2 draws, 25 by knockout. The 2 losses both early in his career, both by decision in 6-round bouts. Paez looking to come back strong from that disappointing performance in his last outing against Troy Dorsey, who you saw moments ago stop Bernardo Pinango. And here comes Paez.
Is that Liberace or is that Paez that just walked in here? What was that? No drugs, say his robe, and no drugs. The back of his head.
And Jorge appears to be in better spirits than we saw him last February as he went up against Troy Dorsey. That's because he had no problem making the weight.
I think he's in very sharp shape, and that's the difference. So this guy's ebullient and excessively happy before a fight. That last time he was semi-conscious.
Looks like we're set for the introductions. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good afternoon to you and welcome as Forum Boxing Incorporated, in association with the Las Vegas Hilton, brings you the rematch main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Featherweight Championship of the world. First introducing to you the challenger on my right, fighting out of the blue corner. Entering the ring wearing black trunks and hailing from Phoenix, Arizona. His weight is 126 pounds and a record of 35-3-1 with 29 wins by way of knockout. He is the former WBA champion, the current WBO featherweight world champion. Welcome, Louie "Sharpshooter" Espinoza. The defending champion, entering the ring wearing gold trunks with black trim and hailing from Mexicali, Baja California, Mexico. His weight 126 pounds, with a record of 34 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, with 25 wins by way of knockout. He is the IBF Featherweight Champion of the world. Welcome the colorful Jorge Maromero Paez. Bringing in charge now to give instructions, Richard Steele.
And as you saw, as always, Jorge has a contingent of fans from Mexico. Richard Steele providing the instructions. Espinoza with that slight height advantage. Paez with the reach advantage. For the referee, Richard Steele, it is his 71st world title fight His 70th championship bout was the controversial Mildred Taylor-Julio Cesar Chavez meeting in this ring 2 weeks ago. Scoring on the 10-point must system under IBF rules. No 3 knockdown rule. There is no standing 8. The bell saves the fighter only in the last round. Jorge Paez and Louie Espinoza in round 1, scheduled for 12.
And Paez figures to have a big advantage in overall speed. He was quicker than Espinoza in their last fight. It looks like Espinoza has slowed down in subsequent fights, so the edge in speed should go to Paez.
This is the rematch of the 12-round draw, a disputed draw last May in Phoenix, and he felt Espinoza benefited from the hometown decision. It was 12 rounds of furious back-and-forth action, although Paez landed the heavier and more telling blows. Terrific fight at a very quick pace.
Well, they certainly haven't started up where they left off, because they're right now just kind of feeling each other out like two alley cats looking at each other. They're not certainly picking up where they left off.
When Espinoza's going well, he's exciting to watch with a powerful left hook, but the defense is suspect. And that has made every fight an adventure for Louie Espinoza.
Remember, he has a cut across the bridge of his nose. Those cuts never heal because they're in such an exposed location. They don't heal well, so they'll open. Espinoza dictating the rather slow pace of this first round, but he's scoring the points. He's on the attack. He's the one who's doing the punching.
Paez with the quick hands, good puncher. Try to stiff arm Espinoza, but he was able to punch his way through it. I know you talked with the referee Richard Steele about those straight arm tactics of Paez, which he usually gets away with.
Well, right now, he's got other problems in the corner, but the referee, Richard Steele, said, look, I know what he's doing. That's against the rules. I'm going to stop it, and I'll take points if necessary, which we will see because that's hard to do. It's hard to take points away for that.
Oh, good left hand thrown by Paez.
Paez on the attack after taking a pretty good shellacking in that corner from Espinoza.
Coming up on 10 seconds left in round 1. This is for the IBF Featherweight Championship. We'll be right back.
And that's no stretch.
Here's what happens when you corner a wildcat. One left hook, two left hooks. You just can't predict what this wild Paez is going to do. Just when it looks like he's taking a shellacking, he pulls it out.
And a good body blow by Espinoza. He surprised Paez going right at him. Espinoza traditionally a slow starter, but he did win the first 2 rounds of that previous bout against Paez.
Well, he won the first round of this one because Paez did not choose to fight that much. Just kind of looking to see what he's got. He's got excellent balance, has Paez, and so therefore he can afford to drop his hands and stay at a distance where Espinoza's punches can't reach him. That frustrates the other fighter, and it frustrates fight fans that watch and say, why can't he get hit? Because he's such an acrobat. He knows how to get away from the punches with his legs and his upper body.
No holding.
You heard Richard Steele say no holding. And here we are, just about a round and a half in, and we have not seen any taunting or any elbows, and very little holding thus far, but it's early. It's scheduled for 12.
Well, thus far, it's Espinoza's whole fight. He's dictating the pace. He's doing what he wants to do, and he's not getting punished in return. A few punches that landed were flashy by Paez, not enough to win a round. And in the meantime, Espinoza's working away.
Good right hand by Paez, answering the left, thrown by Espinoza.
Paez firing when he got stung. He got stung, and that woke him up. He came back fighting.
Jorge Paez, a very busy champion, his 7th title defense over the last 12 months. 1 minute remaining. Second round. Espinoza landing the left hand. He doubled up. He surprised Paez after faking the right.
He did like he was fighting sword fighting. He went forward with a jab 3 times. Bip, bip, bip. And he caught him going back. Paez is starting to look a little bewildered. Like, what's happening here? This is not the same guy I fought a little while ago. Espinoza simply outboxing Paez. He's a better boxer technically. He's keeping his head. He's not frustrated. Landing a good right hand.
Good counter by Paez as we come down to 10 seconds left in the second round.
No holding.
The official sponsor of NBC's boxing tour.
On to round 3, another good second round for the challenger, Louie Espinoza.
He just keeps using his calm, expert boxing technique, and he's befuddling Paez. But what's so different from the last time? Espinoza won the last 2 rounds last time, so some little motor must start to click in Paez now. He's got to get back in his fight.
And it is on to round 3. This is the premiere of the Saturday Sports Showcase. Next week, the showcase will feature the PGA Seniors Championship. The field including Otto Palmer and Jack Nicklaus and Lee Trevino. And then 2 weeks from today, the spotlight on one of boxing's most dramatic spectacles, the Rumble in the Jungle, that historic 1974 bout, never before seen on network television. Muhammad Ali and George Foreman, the first installment of the greatest fights ever. That'll be 2 weeks from today. Again, the counter by Espinoza. Paez now trying to get tricky. Able to answer with the combination.
He's tricky but effective. He gets down there crouching like an acrobat. You cannot find his hand. He's incredible. He's got radar for punches when he gets into that defensive posture.
Well, he has been dubbed as boxing's clown prince as a result. Not all boxing people take him seriously, and he will from time to time employ such tactics. He did get away with it and got away with the right hand, landing on Espinoza.
He's got to start cooking now, and he has been so far this round. He's landed the harder and more effective punches, and his defense counts for something. What Paez is doing is loading up the right hand as Espinoza's coming in. Espinoza's gotten used to coming in without any punishment in return, and that may be a little trap that Paez has laid for him.
Louie Espinoza does have knockout power in both hands, also has a very strong left hook. Has not gone to it that frequently.
He's made Espinoza miss an awful lot of times. These jabs that are going are landing in the air by Espinoza. And that's the genius of this little Paez. He just knows how to stay far enough away and then come in when he has to. Depend on his acrobatic skills to make a guy miss when he crouches. And when he comes out of that crouch, watch out. He's like a coiled spring.
In their first meeting back in May, Paez very successful in landing uppercuts. And we have not seen that to this point.
He's loading up on those hooks, and he's forgotten the uppercut, but don't worry. That's in his armamentarium. There's one right there.
That'll wrap it for round 3.
NBC Sports World.
Louie Espinoza, 27 years old, out of Phoenix. He has fought all the top opponents, hasn't knocked anyone. One-time WBA junior featherweight champion. They call him the sharpshooter for his precise punching. This is round 4. The champion, Jorge Paez, taking a good combination from Espinoza.
Espinoza slackened up a bit there in that third round, allowing Paez to come back into this fight. Paez, notice, has not put his back to the ropes yet. And he didn't get, as he got caught with Dorsey because he had no strength to push him off. Now he's fighting in the middle of the ring, which is where his usual good fight is. Advice given by Willie Borchert, the gentleman in the corner that looks like he's got a failed Fu Manchu mustache, was to step up the action, exhorting Paez, saying, hey, you blew the first 2 rounds. Now, come on, step it up. And, of course, that's just what we're seeing.
One minute gone by, and the 4th round is scheduled for 12. This time around, no weight problems for Jorge Paez. He was in such good spirits yesterday that he had a manicure and painted his nails red.
It's a good thing the gloves are on. It'd be disappointed an athlete that has red fingernails.
Not in good spirits here, though. He's trying to clown his way out of it as Espinoza continues to score.
The difference now is that Paez is the aggressor. He's coming on. He's forcing Espinoza to fight in a retreat, which is a lot different going back than going forward.
I wonder about those gold sequin knee-length trunks. Talked about it before. I think it would slow a boxer down to have trunks that long.
How about his robe? I bet his robe cost more than most of his early fights got all put together.
Just under 1 minute left, 4th round.
These are the rounds that are hard to score because Paez is on the offensive. He's coming on. He's landing effectively. But then again, fighting in retreat. So is Espinoza. So these are hard. Ooh, nice hard shot by Paez. Followed up by another hard hook.
That was borderline. Might have been a low blow by Espinoza.
Espinoza fighting back effectively. These two guys are just trading evenly here.
The nickname of Jorge Paez stems from his somersaults and backflips to celebrate his victories. We'll be back with round 5 in a moment.
Watch this combination as Espinoza is battling back and taking these rounds by a narrow margin, but he's taking these rounds. It's now 39-37 on my scorecard in favor of Luis Espinoza.
It is on to round 5. The scoring is on the 10-point must system, handled by 3 judges, all from Las Vegas. Jerry Roth, Patricia Jarman, Dalby Shirley, referee Richard Steele, handling the proceedings. Marv Albert with the fight doctor, Ferdy Pacheco. Late hit by Paez right after the bell in round 4 disturbed the corner of Louie Espinoza.
I don't think it disturbed Espinoza. He's a consummate pro. He's keeping a cool head here, just eking out these rounds. In that last round, Paez refused to sit down. He's got so much energy going right now. He just wants these rounds to fly by.
Watch your head, watch your head.
Well, off of what we've seen so far, Espinoza certainly learned a lot out of that first encounter. He's neutralizing most of the strange things that Paez does, and Paez didn't seem to learn anything because he's the one that's getting taught a lesson right now.
Louie Espinoza, one-time sparring partner of Ray Boom Boom Mancini. And Espinoza, man, has come back from adversity a couple of years ago and a hunting accident. He shot himself on the right foot, broke 4 bones. 4 years ago, working as a carpenter, he let an electrical saw get too close to his thigh, and it cost him 100 stitches. So he has come from work. Good left hand from Paez.
Paez lets Espinoza work away, and then he neutralizes us with them power shots that he lands right on the head.
And that right hand by Paez just did miss.
Both men are not holding back. They're shooting their power shots right now. Paez trying to get back in this fight with hard punches. And Espinoza keeping his head and pumping away 5, 6 times while he's waiting for Paez's charge.
Now the chant of Louie for Louie Espinoza. Espinoza again able to effectively counter.
Little warning about heads. They've been hitting heads here. No damage so far to either fighter.
Nice combination by Espinoza. Paez working off the spin move as this 5th round comes to a close.
Saturday Sports Showcase on NBC.
This is what you got to look forward to when you fight a shorter man. Watch the heads go. They just bump heads all afternoon long, and it so far has not been a factor. There has been no cuts on either fight.
Yes, Louie Espinoza at 5'7" is taller than most featherweights. Paez is about 5'5", although he claims 5'6". So we're talking of a couple of inches in terms of height advantage for Espinoza.
They also say, according to the tape, that Espinoza's got shorter arms than Paez. I don't see that. I mean, when you're looking at these two guys, who do you think's got the longer arms? And it certainly looks like Espinoza, and he's fighting that way.
And here goes Paez into the out, and he caught Espinoza.
He lured into Espinoza into watching his clown act and hammered him as a price of admission.
The second time that Paez has got into the clowning tactics, and both times it worked.
He cannot put his hand on top of that rope. He couldn't be penalized. That's illegal. You can't do that. No question he's picking up the pace. It looks like he knows he's behind. He's getting outboxed by Espinoza in those early rounds, so he's got to start coming on in the middle rounds.
This is round 6, scheduled for 12 for the IBF Featherweight Championship. Earlier, as the first part of our boxing doubleheader, it was Troy Dorsey, a man who lost a disputed decision to Jorge Paez back in February. And Paez took a good right hand from Espinoza. And now it's Espinoza measuring, and Richard Steele steps between. Dorsey earlier stopped Bernardo Pinango 34 seconds in to round 8.
Espinoza faking an uppercut and then coming in with an overhand right, but he missed him. He missed Paez as Paez is juking and boxing and bipping and doing everything he can do to discombobulate Espinoza, who is just absolutely implacable in his attack. He just keeps coming forward.
It has to be so tempting when Paez shows his opponent his head and just stands there.
Well, we've seen a lot of people fall into that trap, but Espinoza's not one of them. He's gotten caught a few times today, but mainly he has kept his cool and boxed his fight.
Punching it out. Your hands are free.
And that is Troy Dorsey, who is checking it out.
Your hands are free.
Troy would like another opportunity at Jorge Paez. We'll be right back.
Spark plugs.
Here's the clown act, and look how Espinoza bites on it. Whoop, he got distracted, he turned his back, and all of a sudden, point building, a charge by Paez. And here's what happens on the other end. As Paez falls back, Espinoza doesn't fall for it and goes right back with him and lands 4 scoring punches.
How did you score round 6?
Round 6 I had to give to Paez. He had the superior and heavier punches, and I make it 58-56. Espinoza still ahead on my scorecard.
Or whatever.
Or close to it.
We talked earlier about the alleged defensive liabilities of Espinoza. And he says, if I'm such a bad defensive fighter, as everybody says, how come I still look so good after 39 bouts?
You didn't have the heart to tell him he didn't look good, did you?
Well, Espinoza got off to the fast start here today. He is usually a slow starter, and Paez has picked it up the last few rounds.
They're hammering each other. It's a race to see who's going to land the first telling effective punch. They have been hammering each other, but neither one shows the effect of it up to now. This is going to be a fight dictated by conditioning as well. Again, Paez, effective with the right hand, chasing, and Espinoza falling back.
Good combination by Paez.
We're wondering when that uppercut was going to start to make itself known. That was the first effective use of the uppercut. Really landed hard. Followed by a right hand. It looks like Paez is finally gaining speed.
Come on, work it down.
A lot of motion by Paez, but no effect as he tried to double and triple up on that left hand. It's one of the rare occasions where we've seen Paez in the corner.
Because he thinks he can land uppercuts from inside here, and he has. Espinoza showing good judgment and caution, not coming in wildly, but looking for his spots, trying to avoid that deadly uppercut of Paez's.
Watch your shoulder, Louie.
Richard Steele telling both Espinoza and Paez, watch the elbows, watch the shoulder. Half-minute to go in the 7th.
Roaring hook by Paez. His punches are harder, they're more effective, and they're landing better.
Beautiful uppercut from Paez. And a big round for the champion, Jorge Paez. Final seconds of the 7th.
Here's where Paez decides to unleash that deadly uppercut. There it is with a right hand to follow. All during round 7, he was landing that uppercut. There it is. It is a weapon to be feared. And Espinoza took it well, but how much can he take of that?
And the timeout called by Richard Steele. Repairs on the left glove of Jorge Paez.
Just a little piece of tape that's hanging loose. You know, it's hard to put tape on wet tape.
Oh, Jorge enjoying the respite. Communicating with the crowd. And the Espinoza portion of the crowd booing Paez. Apparently feeling that it is a stall, but one of those things, and now we're set to resume. This is round 8, and it is a bout that has been building. Last May in Phoenix, they fought a 12-round draw. Tremendous action bell to bell.
Many people thought that was the fight of the year. And I don't know of one better. This one's building up as Paez is starting to dig himself out of the rubble of that early lassitude that he had. I mean, he certainly wasn't fighting with all his strength, and now all of a sudden he is a demon here.
Left hand by Paez. left hand from Paez, who is really loading up.
That's 3 straight hard shots. It looked like they buckled Espinoza, but Espinoza came fighting back.
Now Paez teeing off.
Paez sensing the advantage is going his way, is picking up steam.
Halfway through round 8, it is scheduled for 12, and Paez loading up with the left hand successfully here in the 8th round.
For the first time, he just started to measure him as he had before. As we said, the referee has been watching for that. It has not happened. Let's see what happens if he ever paws that left hand out there and keeps it out there. Steele has said he will penalize him if that continues. It hasn't even started yet.
Just under a minute to go in the 8th round of that earlier meeting where they fought to the draw. The judge from Mexico scored it for Paez. The judge from Phoenix scored it even. The judge from Nevada scored it for Espinoza. 3 neutral judges from Nevada are handling this bout.
Espinoza just got off his first zinging good right hand of this round. So far, he has lost the entire round. He got off 1 good punch.
Great, step back, step back.
Well, the 8th round winding down.
Connecting right hand by Paez. That's the kind of right hand that won the round for him in round 8.5. Now, and draw 76.
So Paez making his way back after the good start by Espinoza. That right hand by Paez grazed Espinoza. This is the second part of our boxing doubleheader as we open up the Saturday Sports Showcase on NBC next week. The showcase features the PGA Seniors Championship.
Solid shot by Paez.
We have not had any knockdowns in this fight. In his career, Espinoza has been down twice in previous fights, losing them both. Now chant for Jorge Paez. Paez only down once in his career. That a flash knockdown in the fight against Stevie Cruz. Espinoza able to land with that right hand.
He's taking a hammering, but every once in a while he steps in with that right hand and connects solidly with Paez.
And a well-executed combination by Louie Espinoza.
Trying to get back in here, but just as soon as he starts to do something fancy and looking good, back comes the hard-punching Paez to land something solid to put him back on retreat.
Espinoza able to punch his way out of the corner with 50 seconds left in the 9th.
Heads are banging, and elbows are flying. Balance, that all-important factor of how you can plant your feet and use your strength is all in Paez's favor, and no surprise there. He's an acrobat. He knows how to do that.
Yes, Jorge Paez, the one-time circus clown and acrobat. Finishing up this 9th round with Louie Espinoza. We'll be back with round 10 in a moment. On to round 10. Louie Espinoza, the 27-year-old, born in Winkleman, a small Arizona mining town, now living in Phoenix, comes in at 35, 3, and 1, 29 by knockout. And the champion, Jorge Paez, from Mexicali, Mexico, 24 years old, 34-2, 2 draws, 25 by KO.
Espinoza has been giving a tongue lashing in the corner by Paul Percival, his manager and cutman. Said, hey, you're falling behind here. You better open this round strong, and he has. He's open, trying to land something to keep this machine punching Paez away from him, but he has not been able to. He's still giving ground. Paez still coming ahead.
What do you have on the scorecard?
86-85. Paez has won the last 4 rounds straight on my scorecard. He's fighting with much, much more enthusiasm, whereas Espinoza seems to have lost the zest for fighting.
Well, the first meeting between these two was so difficult to score that the 3 judges agreed only on 3 rounds. The first, 7th, 12th, all Paez rounds. This one, I think, breaks down a little bit easier.
Well, don't be too sure. Espinoza's doing just enough to make these rounds questionable, so it depends on what you like. He's a much fancier boxer, and he's fighting in retreat, but Paez is coming ahead with a more effective and harder punches. So, again, it's not that easy to judge these kind of fights.
I was trying to make it easy for you, Freddie.
It's easy for me. It's hard for the 3 judges.
We're approaching a minute to go in the 10th.
Those hard right hands seem to dizzy Espinoza. Right after he gets hit, he does nothing for about another 10 or 15 seconds, but fall in if he can. To the top of the head of Paez, whereas Paez 1 or 2 body shots landed solidly. So you see in those little exchanges, it looks good for Espinoza, but it's Paez that's scoring.
Richard Steele telling Louie Espinoza, watch your head. And again, Paez on the attack. Good left hand by Paez. That is it for round 10.
American satellite launched into orbit aboard a Chinese rocket on NBC Nightly News.
These are the kind of things that win these rounds. Right at the end, Maromero gets untracked Paez. Now watch him attack all the way across the ring, driving Espinoza back. That judges love those last-minute things.
Good finish by Jorge Paez. Now it is on to round 11.
You can sense the excitement in Paez and in his corner. They feel like they've got this guy going. Now let's put him out. Let's get him out of here.
Paez won the title last March by taking a majority decision over Calvin Grove. He came from behind to do it, putting Grove down 3 times, and then closing with a huge final round. Prior to that dramatic win over Grove, Paez noted only for his connection with his family's circus and for the traditional breakdancing and moonwalking.
Once again, an awful lot of action out of Espinoza, punctuated by a hard punch by Paez, which won the exchange. Espinoza's given it as much as he's got, but he doesn't seem to know how to neutralize the energy and strength and awkwardness of Paez.
And Paez looking to laugh it off. Paez with a small cut on the inside of his lower lip.
He left some blood on the shoulder. of Espinoza. He invites you to come in and punch him. He invites it. And then when you come in, you find a buzzsaw waiting for you.
Don't hold it.
Right hand from Espinoza. That answered the straight arm tactic of Paez.
Espinoza doing much better this round for the first time in a long time. And look at that. Rat-tat-tat. Right off the gloves and top of the head of Espinoza.
Don't push.
I'll tell you, it's a miracle with all the bumping heads. That cut over the bridge of the nose has not opened up, and that's the easiest punch, the easiest location in boxing for a scar tissue to open. Espinoza.
Yes, the bridge of the nose of Espinoza was thought that it might be a problem. So Paez goes into his act, and as he does so, he looks right at our NBC camera.
Man needs a SAG membership. SAG, that is. Screen Actors Guild.
Thank you.
I didn't want that to be confused. Oh, look at this. Oh, come on.
Come on, get you ready.
So the break-dancing style of Jorge Paez as we close out the 11th round. And Richard Steele very quick to get between the fighters. We'll stay right here as we are coming up on the 12th and final round.
All right, this kind of corner work that you see, Paez, and watch him look at the camera. Is that crazy or what is that? That is a real ham. And Steele saying, hey, cut out the close-ups, guys. Let's go to fight. Let's go to Espinoza and listen to the desperate instructions.
Fall deep, right, baby? 3 minutes, buddy. You got a title. 3 minutes.
So coming up the 12th and final round, I mentioned earlier, Paez has been very effective late in fights. In the earlier meeting with Espinoza, he won the final round on all 3 judges' scorecards to salvage the draw and maintain the title.
Well, by that clowning and letting Espinoza getting back into that round, he lost the round, and now it's 104 to 105. And you know what? This is still the most important round in the fight. Round 12.
You have who in front?
I have Paez in front, but I thought he lost that last round. He clowned, he got hit, he let Espinoza back in this fight.
And sometimes clouding tactics can turn off the judges. You don't know what effect that will have.
Yeah, I would say not sometimes, but most of the time. I just don't like that. Who does?
Once again, Louie Espinoza and Jorge Paez go to the 12th and final round. Last May, they fought to a draw. Paez defending his IBF featherweight title. We've had no knockdown. Now Espinoza coming on. He got off to the good start. Not usually a fast starter, but that was the case today. And then Paez came on in the middle round. We are at the midway point of the final round.
And it is this last half of this round that may tell the story. In the corner, Espinoza's people were cheerful and said, one more round and you've got the championship. So they think they're ahead. They think they can win it here.
Espinoza is the one-time WBA junior featherweight champion. We come up on 1 minute to go in the final round.
Espinoza laying it out. He is not taking anything for granted, but it's Paez landing the harder blows. Ooh, that's a nice shot by Espinoza.
We approach 30 seconds to go in the bout. It is for the IBF Featherweight Championship.
strong finish can win this round.
We are down to 15 seconds left in the fight. Once again, they go the distance. They go 12. As Paez continues to attack, Richard Steele steps in. Jorge Paez and Louie Espinoza, who fought to the draw in a slugfest last May in Phoenix, once again go all the way, and we'll be back with the decision in just a moment. Right now, to Don Criqui and the NBC Sports Update.
Thank you, Marv Albert. We'll look forward to getting back and getting the decision from Las Vegas.
All right, Don, and we are set. Remember, last May in Phoenix, they fought a 12-round draw. Louie Espinoza, Jorge Paez, who is defending his IBF featherweight title. Let's go to Jimmy Lennon Jr. Here's the decisions.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 12 rounds of championship boxing, we have a split decision. Judge at ringside, Darby Shirley scores about 115-113, Louie Espinoza. Judge Patricia Jarman scores about 115-113, Jorge Paez. Judge Jerry Rock scores about 115-113 in favor of the winner and still champion, Jorge Maromero Paez.
Jorge Paez able to pull out a split decision, and as you can hear, a portion of this crowd does not like it. So a close bout, 115-113 on all the scorecards, and these are neutral judges, all from the state of Nevada. Albie Shirley had it for Espinoza. Patricia Jarman had it for Paez, and Jerry Roth had it for Paez. And Paez does it with the split decision to maintain his IBF featherweight championship. Let's go to the fight, doctor, with Jorge Paez.
Era más difícil esta vez que la otra vez.
Era pues una pelea casi igual, pero me estudió muy bien y
I asked him if it was harder this time than the last time. He said he studied me very well and he knew what I was going to do. ¿Tú crees que la payasada al final le costó rounds con un juez?
no, pues una cosa es la payasada y otra cosa que pegue, ¿verdad? Si hubiera sido payasada todo el round, se hubiera perdido toda la pelea, pero metí golpe.
I asked him if he thought his clowning had cost him a few points on the rounds that the judges gave the other guy. He said, no, if clowning cost me fights, I would have lost all my fights. Y de aquí, ¿te quedas en este peso o subes?
Me voy a quedar este peso porque está firmado el contrato y no puedo hacerme para atrás.
I asked him if he's staying at this weight or is he going up. He said, no, I'm staying at this weight. I already have the next fight in line and waiting for the contracts to be signed. Thank you very much. And back to Marv Albert.
Okay.
All right, Ferdy, so Jorge Paez now 36-2-2. He has been a busy fighter the last 12 months. As you saw, his 7th title defense, all successful for the one-time circus clown acrobat, boxing's Clown Prince. There's Troy Dorsey, who earlier today, as the first part of our doubleheader on the Saturday Sports Showcase, stopped Bernardo Pinengo in 8, and he would like another shot at Jorge Paez. Now, let's go back to Ferdy with Louie Espinoza.
Louie, what do you think cost you this fight?
I don't know. I thought I had done enough to win the fight. I know I lost a couple of middle rounds. Maybe I should have picked it up a little more in the last round. I know I won the 11th round good, but maybe the 12th round I should have picked it up a little more. But still, even then, I felt I had the majority of the rounds won.
What did you learn from that first fight that made you fight so much better the second time?
Just basically not be there, as much. Not be there as much, and try and get off first and land some punches.
Thank you very much, and back to Marv Albert at ringside.
Well, we did ask Troy Dorsey who he thought won. He said he thought that Paez won, but a strong effort for Louie Espinoza. Paez successfully defends his championship. Let's get back to the studio.